what people say they want versus what people actually need are completely separate things most of the time. See, this is specifically for people who do handmade products, for example, jewelry, or even if you do t-shirts. Basically, it's for anybody who isn't necessarily a giant corporation that can just throw money at whatever problems they have. See, I don't want you to create product lines first and then see if people actually want it. I want you to do the opposite. This is where social media is going to be huge for you. You can create posts, or you can go on Fiverr, for example, and get somebody to create different mock-up designs that are going to actually be testable and thus benefit you. What you want to do is get those mock-ups, whether you're creating them or you're getting somebody else to create them, and put them on social media, right? If you are specifically looking at something that is only related to a product, don't worry so much about the copy or the descriptions. The two biggest focuses you're going to want to do is focus on the creative and the headline. Those are going to be the two biggest things. Why? Because both of them are the thing that really pops out, right? So once you get that image, think of something as far as like the title, the headline is concerned. What are you going to say about that image? Don't just describe it. Don't just say new shirt or new upcoming, product line 2021 or whatever. You don't want to do that. You want to actually put some thought or emphasis or reason behind it. You want some sort of emotional response. It doesn't necessarily have to be a powerful emotional response, right? I think that's something that we as marketers and business owners kind of push onto people that are specifically e-commerce. We tend to use a lot of words that may be misconstrued. So when I say I want you to do something that gives them an emotional response, what I'm not saying is to do something outlandish or crazy. This doesn't have to be overcomplicated, although we as marketers normally, when we're talking to business owners, like to make things seem more complicated than they are, but that's mainly because like everybody, you want your title to feel, you want to feel important more than anything, right? So like, even if you, as an example, I don't know, let's just say my first job, I was a dishwasher, right, for a Pizza Hut. If I was doing that currently today, I wouldn't say, oh yeah, I wash dishes for Pizza Hut. I'd be like, oh, well, I'm in janitorial services for a multi-billion-dollar company. Specifically, I'm one of the lead. I would try to emphasize it. Thus, and those of you that are in the military, you know what I mean when it comes to EPRs. See, Darian, she does EPR work, which is essentially, for those that aren't in the military, like resume building. That is one of the big foundational things they do. They take tasks that are important or are good, and what they do is they really emphasize them and fluff them up to make it seem like you are just like God's gift to the earth, right? But anyways, like I mentioned, you want to have a descriptive headline that is going to provide some sort of emotional value, something that's just going to make them say ooh and ah. That's really the gist of that. Doesn't have to be anything super crazy. See, now once you do that, the entire point of doing that is that you are going to be able to see what's getting the most engagement, comments, hearts, loves, likes, retweets. Specifically, you want to go out of your way to do this. You don't want to just create a random thing on Buffer and post it everywhere, right? You want to actually put some elements into this, some thought elements into like promoting this on your stories, promoting these as small ads, potential upcoming lines. What do you think about this? Promoting this onto your email marketing lists. Those are all going to be vital elements to getting the actual answer as far as what do people want to buy from me. Now, obviously, this is something that's still going to be on brand to you, thus why you are even presenting this to your customers. But it really is just something that's going to be a little bit different overall. The really big thing about this isn't just whether or not people are going to buy, but it's the overall amount of money that you're going to be saving. I see people all the time in e-commerce businesses, again, whether that's, it doesn't really matter what you do, t-shirts, jewelry, you sell custom-made hats, leather belts. I mean, it doesn't really matter, again, what you do, but I see this all the time, and it wastes so much time, and it wastes so much money, and it wastes so much energy, because now all of a sudden they had this really cool idea that they thought, oh man, this is going to really just like kill it. Everyone's going to love this. I'm so excited. I can't wait to reveal it to them. And then what ends up happening is that people aren't quite as receptive sometimes as you would hope, right? So you kind of get crickets. And that's a problem, not just because you put in time, money, effort, etc., as I just mentioned, but because it disheartens you, right? It makes you look at your business and say, what's wrong? Especially if you're a new business, right? You don't even have data to back up like, hey, you know what? I'm worth something. Now with this new business, you launched let's say your first product line a year ago, okay? Did well, right? Maybe not killed it, maybe not like amazing multi-million dollar company now, but you made, let's say you did $10,000 in sales, and you're like, hey, for 1 year, for me starting this out, for what I put into this, that was enough. That solidified to me that I can do this, that I can eventually quit my job, that I can spend more time with my family by focusing on this, and it's going to be awesome. And then this year you do it, and it's not quite as receptive, and that's problematic because, like I said, it disheartens you. You end up saying, was that false? Am I just a one-trick pony? Was that something that just randomly happened? Should I not have quit my job? Should I not have even considered this? Because this year I upped my value. I thought this was going to be so good, so I actually bought hardware, software. I put in more money into inventory. I put in more money into web design. I put money into courses, or whatever the case is. You decided to really emphasize this, and then it failed. Or it's maybe not didn't fail, but it didn't reach your expectations. And that's a problem. But see, it's a problem for you, not for everybody else. The market just doesn't really care whether or not you put in a ton of effort. The reward isn't based on that, it's based on what people want or how people get something in return. So what I want you to do is, next time you are thinking about launching a product or coming up with some ideas, I want you to actually put them down on paper or get somebody to graphically design them and put some time and effort into promoting the idea behind it. Get polls out there, do whatever you can do, quizzes, whatever it is, to get your product out, your idea out. And a great place to start is by asking yourself, what does my market need and how can I solve it? Well, that's it for this week. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to write them below. Like us, all that jazz, and we will see you next week. Have a good one. Bye.